So, what do you think about UFOs? Oh, well, I believe the universe is so large there's got to be some other form of life out there, right? I mean, it just can't be just us.
I wasn't talking about aliens.
Okay. Sorry, could you repeat the question? It would be my pleasure. Upstanding citizens of the Heartland claim sodomy by their hand. They're often known to make victims of arson out of the humble grain farmer. ABC News journalists report on them just to coincidentally die of cancer months later. Greetings, fellow definitioneers, and welcome to yet another exciting edition of Definition with your host, TheDefinitionMan. I'm going to start this one off with a few words from a transcript of an incident from January 16, 1963. My wife and I were motoring past Dearborn, Kansas. We were driving at approximately 60 miles per hour when my wife said, "What is that?" and motioned to the right. To say I was surprised at what I saw would be an understatement. At about 45 degrees to the right and at a distance I thought to be less than a mile, there was an object and a large one. It appeared to be in flight not far above the horizon, and I was afraid it would land before we got to a point where we could take a good picture. So we drove possibly 3/4 of a mile before stopping on top of a low hill. What was astounding was the bright red color of the thing. It seemed to have a clear outline. The bulk of the transcript from this point is about readying a camera to take a picture. But in the end he concluded, what was this phenomenon? What caused it? If what we saw was a reflection of a plane, where was the original located? This was a transcript of my great-grandfather who, at the request of my family, shall remain anonymous, but whose name I share. Yes, my great-grandpappy Definition Man. A secret he kept to the grave, my grandparents found the paper stored in the attic and saw it was logged using an old typewriter, which was something you didn't do back then unless it was very important. But no matter how extraordinary the event was, he never once claimed to know what it was, only what he saw. Today, UFO sightings are a common subject, and chances are you met someone who claims to have seen one or know someone who knows someone who has. But what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the term UFO? Aliens? Government conspiracy? FBI agents and hermits with too much time on their hands? I'm sure you're one of those few exceptional people who can automatically blurt out unidentified flying object, but that still wouldn't answer the question. I find this only the extremely skeptical and disinterested, ironically enough, that carry no inhibitions toward admitting their first thought being a spaceship. And as much as you may protest, as much as you may wish to come off unbiased, I'm betting even you default on the spaceman principle. You probably just have a roundabout way of hinting at it. You see, that's laughable. It could just as easily be government-controlled experimentation with back-engineered technology. Or they could come from another dimension altogether. I mean, it doesn't have to be outer space, people. I mean, come on, if it wasn't for the hope of an intergalactic neighborhood sending us LED love notes just too shy to say hi to our leader, I really doubt anyone would spend the fraction of a calorie it takes to crane their head upwards into the sky, except maybe to check the weather. Let alone the several calories it takes to listen to Katy Perry's Extraterrestrial, which I like, by the way. But for all who agree that UFO studies and investigations should be taken seriously, please be consciously aware of the differences between a phenomenon and a romanticized concept with no factual evidence supporting it. And with many of my subscribers being atheists, you'd be really tarded not to notice some parallels here. Anywho, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click on any one of my other definitions. Rate this video, and as always, troll yourself in the comments below. Well, nobody seems to know that an alien is not a UFO, so you get the bimbos and I'll get an old probes. Yeah, and that sounds queer, and that sounds gay, and that sounds homosexual. Do you get the idea?